Hello YouTube, this will be system test 5. Nothing really too much has changed with the system. We still have the same panel and it's doing good. There's only one problem with it. It's not showing on the display right now. However, it's starting to give a battery fault. Both batteries, they're really old and they need to be replaced, so I'm going to get to that in just some time. If you're wondering what these wires are back here, basically because I have two of these panels, got two battery cables, so that's kind of spare battery cables for this particular panel. So yeah. In this particular test, I'm going to be demonstrating the walk test feature. So we're going to do silent and audible walk tests. I'll go ahead and just test a couple of these devices, and we're going to do both the silent and audible walk tests. So I'll show you the devices first, and then we'll go ahead and get on with the walk test. So right here we have a Wheelock RSS 1575 fixed Candela, and whenever this does a walk test, it basically pulses the NAC to the number on the zones. So since I only have 1 through 5, you're only going to see at most 5 beeps or 5 pulses. So you'll see the strobes it'll try and do that, but it does kind of weird things. You'll see it. So inside of this room, all the pulse stations are still the same. By the way, on the other side it was a EST SIGA. On this side is I think a Federal Signal 4050001T. Still works great. And up here we have a Wheelock MT on tone code 3, which that won't matter for this test. The next test I'll leave everything up and I'll actually do a normal test. But for this test, it's just going to be walk test, so it doesn't really matter that it's on code 3. And that actually, that one replaced my the L series low frequency sounder that's been up there since the last test. I just replaced these the other day. So now let's go out to the garage. And the garage has not changed a thing. However, I don't know if it was like this in the last test. I will show you what's going on out there, but I'm not sure if it was like this in the last test. However, I took the electrical box off the ceiling because we got a new door opener. So now the Advance, which is still staying out here for now until I get this flush mat up in the ceiling, it's just kind of hanging here. And I'm going to put it somewhere in this spot here, or possibly move it back here if I can get to there. But I need to put that directly on a stud and just mount this in the wall, or in the ceiling. I don't want to move it to the wall because then I wouldn't have a ceiling mount spot for my alarms. And over there's the same pole station. So yeah. So let's go and get on to the walk test. I'm gonna demonstrate both versions of walk test, silent and audible. We're gonna start off with the silent walk test, which really doesn't do much. So I'm only gonna test like 2 pole stations. And then after that, the other one will test a couple extra devices. So I'll test like the boring one on the silent walk test. So to put this thing in walk test, you got to go ahead and first hit the walk test button. If that is flashing, then that means that it's an audible walk test. You're going to push it again. Now it's in silent walk test. Now the panel's beeping, but we're going to leave it beeping for a second. And you want to enable the zones that you want to do in walk test. So in this case, we're actually going to do one. Let's do 1 and 3. And then let's hit panel silence. You can go and of course enable zones afterwards. So like actually if I go ahead and enable zone 5, and like if we do the key switch, You can see here, it's just activated as my supervisory zone. And now it's gonna reset, which, yeah, there you go. The light flashing means that the zone is resetting. Now, same thing with this pole station. Wait for that to reset. And then if you pull this pole station, this is on zone 1. You can see zone 1 alarm. And now it wants you to reset it. It resets it because of the smoke detectors. So if I were to do the smoke detector, which I guess I can go ahead and do that. So let's go and enable 4 as well. And I'll show you what happens. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and disable zone 1 and put it into normal. And I'll show you what happens if you activate a zone that is not set up for walk tests at that time. I just need a chair to get to the smoke detector. So let's get a chair here. And I will show you what happens if you activate the smoke detector. All right. So here I have the, what model is this one? It's here 2400 or 2412 smoke detector. If I activate this, you're gonna see the light is on, and then the panel is gonna reset it, and it's gonna go back to normal. You can see here, it just went back to normal, blinking. And if we go look at the panel, you gotta give it a second. There we go. If we go back to the panel, you can see here, now the light started blinking and the smoke detector shut off. So that's pretty much what happens with walk tests with these with this device. So now we're going to go into audible walk tests. To go into audible walk tests, if you go from a silent walk test, you want to go to an audible, you don't have to reset the panel. Just go ahead and shut walk test off, push it again. Now we're in audible, and enable the zones that you want. So I want to do the garage pull station. We could do zone 2, and we could do zone 4. Might as well the smoke detector. Actually, no, we're going to turn, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to show you what happens. So if we go ahead and activate the key switch, which is now set up for audible. You can hear. So if you heard that, the panel clicking, it was pulsing the NAC. It pulsed the NAC, and it was set up for zone 5, so it did 5 pulses. That lets you know that zone 5 was activated. So if you go ahead and activate a pull station, like if we go into the garage, I have no idea what that zone is. I go ahead and pull it, then you'll see, or you'll hear the NAC pulse to the whatever zone it is. In this case, it would actually be zone 3 for the garage. Zone 5 was that key switch. So we're going to go into the other room. We're going to activate the other pull station here. Now next we got to activate this one. So that did not mean that that was zone 4, that was zone 2. Because this is set up for code 3, it was trying to do code 3 while the panel was pulsing it. So that was zone 2. It does 2 pulses because it's set to code 3. It does 2 pulses. The Spectraler Advance acts up a little bit because the Spectraler Advance has a like a pre-alarm before it goes off. So you'll kind of hear a little bit, but not much. That's why you can't actually set the Spectraler Advance to code 3 without it having a coding option. So we're gonna pull this garage pull station real quick. We'll get the key out, which is this one right here. Sorry for the mess, but we're gonna pull this pull station. You can hear it kind of acts up a little bit. So yep, now I'm going to show you really quick what happens if you pull a pull station that is not set up on walk tests. I found this out the other day. So zone 1, I right now do not have set up on walk tests, or for the audible walk test, because I disabled it and put it back into normal. If you pull a pull station that is not set up for walk tests, which what I mean by that is that the lights are not on that zone. The trouble light's not on for zone 1. If I pull this, you can see you know what, we might as well go check out the garage. I can't hear the advance. They're in sync. Oop. So yep, reset this pull. And something I also found out from the last few tests, I don't know if I showed this off. Supervisory. If you activate supervisory when a fire alarm happens, which I found out totally by accident, we're going to activate the supervisory real quick again. This key switch is getting a little bit of an exercise. It activates the alarm. And it activates it under a normal fire alarm. I'm going to hit reset. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, comment, and like this video. Eventually soon, I will do a power edge test, but I can't do it right now because the batteries in this are shot. I have to get 2 new batteries for the system. It's not coming up as a trouble right now, but it is starting to give a battery fault. So something how I know that is if I unplug it and then try and activate the alarm. You can see here, it does go into normal trouble. But then there's times where if I go and activate the alarm, it doesn't really want to go. It's kind of like a bonus. It might go, it might not. You can see here, it just shuts right down. So, yep. That would be a future system test. The power edge test, but not for right now because I don't have any batteries that work right now. So let's go ahead and plug the panel back in. All right, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, comment, like this video, and have a great day.